This has been such a hectic month for us. A ton of phones got released. I know a lot of you guys are excited for the Xiaomi's and the Nokias, but one phone kinda slipped under the radar. The Honor 10. Hey guys, Ash here from C4 Tech, and in today's video, let's take a look at 5 compelling reasons why you should take a second look at the Honor 10, one of the best phones to come out in the recent past. So without further ado, card to give away, link in description, and while you're down there, hit that bell icon, turn on notifications. Let's now get started. Number 1, the design. Great design is something that effortlessly catches the eye, and the Honor 10 excels at that. Huawei calls it an Oreo glass design, and I guess that's a pretty fitting name. The entire back shimmers and reflects a whole range of colors, sometimes blue, sometimes purple, always gorgeous. The Honor 10 is by far the best looking phone in its price range. Do you guys agree? Here's a poll, let us know. Coming to the front of the device, I know a lot of you aren't too pleased with the inclusion of a notch, but that means Honor can keep the bezels really slim on this one, which means one-handed usage is a breeze. And if you just can't simply stand the notch, Honor even lets you hide it away via the software. Moving on, number 2, hardware. Now the price of the Honor 10 might be half of that of other flagships, but that doesn't mean the hardware inside is half of what's found on other flagships. We have the top of the line Kirin 970 chipset in here, the same chip that we've seen on the much higher priced P20 Pro. Of course, when it comes to performance, this device is an absolute beast. It powers through everything you can throw at it, from intense games to heavy multitasking. The 6 gigs of RAM along with 128 gigs of onboard storage make sure that everything is kept buttery smooth. My only complaint? Considering the fairly large 3400 mAh battery inside, I'd have expected it to last me through more than a single day of usage. But then again, with fast charging on board, that's more of me nitpicking than an actual flaw. This also happens to be one of the few phones to support dual volt T on both SIMs, and it even has an IR blaster, something you don't really find often in higher mid-range phones these days. So next, let's move on to the software side of things. That's number 3 on the list. That's 3. EMUI brings with it a few features that kind of helps the Honor 10 stand out from the pack. On the surface, we have regular old EMUI built on top of Android 8.1 Oreo, but the inclusion of a neural processing unit means that there are a lot of nifty little AI-based tricks that Honor has baked into the already fast and fluid UI. For example, intelligent auto rotation is a feature that I found especially useful. Of course, since it's 2018, we also have an AI-powered face unlock, and in our time spent with the device, it was quite fast and accurate. Speaking of security features, we also have a front-facing fingerprint sensor on the Honor 10. Now there's a lot going on with this one. It is an ultrasonic sensor that resides under the display glass. What does that mean? Well, apart from looking insanely cool, it can also recognize wet fingers. That though comes off with a trade-off. It is slightly slower and less accurate than what we've come to expect from current gen flagships. All of that though is forgiven, as this one also doubles as a navigation button with gesture support. One tap for back, a slightly longer one for home, swipe to a side for multitasking, and swipe up for Google Assistant. It is a pretty nifty feature if you don't mind losing out on quick switch. That's a pet peeve for me, but then what do you feel? With that, let's move on to number 4, cameras. And this is one that we've spoken about extensively in our review of the Honor 10. So I'm gonna, instead of a card, let me actually play that clip. On the back, the Honor 10 is powered by dual AI-powered cameras. From a hardware perspective, we have a 16-megapixel f1.8 primary camera that's paired with a 24-megapixel monochrome sensor. So how does this combo perform? Under bright sunlight, the Honor 10 manages to capture some really excellent looking pictures. The colors tend to be a wee bit oversaturated, which makes the images pop. And even when you zoom in, there's plenty of detail on every picture. Now there is no auto HDR on board, but switch it on and you can see that the camera does a brilliant job of retaining detail even from the shadows while not blowing out the highlights. Even portrait mode shots came out quite good, with edge reduction being fairly on point for most pictures. The stage lighting is cool and we had fun playing around with it. Where this camera does struggle though is with low light. While the images turn out bright, the level of detail isn't great. Moving over to the front camera, we have a 24 megapixel f2.0 selfie shooter. The selfie is captured with this one. It turned out good. Natural looking skin tones, and the AI kept the beautify mode from going overboard. What particularly impressed me was that not only do we have selfie portraits, but there's also support for stage lighting. The NPU on the Kirin 970 is pulling in some serious work. Even in auto mode, you can see the AI in action as it identifies scenes and tries to adjust the colors and white balance to get the best photos possible. However, if you don't like the AI meddling with your photos, you can turn it off because sometimes it tends to be a little too strong. There's even a full-fledged pro mode for you to tinker around with. Coming to the video part of things, the Honor 10 can record in 4K, but just 30 FPS, no 60 FPS option here. That's a restriction of the chip. The footage is quite good, minus the shakes. Yeah, the lack of EIS or OIS hurts these otherwise fantastic cameras a bit. Summing that up, the Honor 10 is an excellent shooter, especially if you're big on photography. So finally, let's wrap this up with price. Now, a lot of OEMs come out with phones that check quite a few boxes but finally stumble at the pricing standpoint. But here, Honor has nailed it. The Honor 10 is priced at 33,000 rupees in India, and for that, what do you get? An excellent chip, excellent cameras, an absolute head turner of a design. The Honor 10 is a lot of phone for not a lot of money. Even when compared to the likes of the OnePlus 6, it comes in 2,000 rupees cheaper from the base variant. And well, if you need 128 gigs of internal storage, the Honor 10 is pretty much the only choice you have under 35,000 rupees. So do you guys agree with me, or do you have something else on your mind? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're trying to pick between the Honor 10 and the OnePlus 6, here's a car to a complete comparison. Check that out. Maybe that'd help you make up your mind. So I guess that's it for this video. It is now time I bid you adieu. If you hated it, you know what to do. But if you did like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. If you've already subscribed, click that bell icon to make sure you get notified every time a new video goes live here on C4eTech. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4eTech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.